I'm live. But I'll be like, we live and we're not live.
Right.
I don't see us yet. Let me see.
You know what?
All right.
We are live. Okay, it says live
We
20.
are,
There's a countdown. All righty.
yep, we are live. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome everyone to the I Am a Boss Woman community. And so, just to kind of give you guys a little bit about I Am a Boss Woman. Our community is designed to help women to create a life they love and that they desire. And so, what do? We help women to build their belief. Because I believe it's important that you have, that you have big belief, right? You have big confidence. And so when you believe in yourself and you have confidence in yourself, then everything else kind of falls into place. So build your belief, build your business, build your brand, and to build your confidence. So I am the founder. My name is Leandra Borders, and today we are interviewing none other but Miss Nishonda Brown-Patterson. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so glad to have you on here this evening with us, and I appreciate you coming on here today. And so, you guys, she is going to give us a little bit about her story, and then we're going to dive in a little bit about what she does and talk about credit, right? So, look, if you guys have any questions, make sure that you type your questions down in the comment box, right? And if you're hopping on here, make sure that you speak. You say hi, say hello. We want to hear from you. Don't let us be doing all talking and you're not commenting. All right. So, Nishonda, let's hear about who you are. So we're going to start off with who you are. Tell us a little bit about your background. Are you married? Do you have children? Things like that. Where you live.
Okay. Well, thank you. First off, there is a bit of a freeze, so let me apologize up front. And just let me know if I need to repeat anything. Second of all, I appreciate this opportunity to share the platform with you. I just want to give a huge shout out to you, Leandra. I'm not always able to join in the morning, but you are committed to whatever it is that God has placed in front of you, your purpose, and sharing that purpose with your community, your tribe. You are consistent, girl. And that's where I fall short. And that is huge, right? That is really a big deal. And whether you're talking about vitamins or dancing in front of the camera for us or singing, we appreciate you and your livelihood that early in the morning. So we appreciate the consistency. You're the best.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. And before we get started, y'all, I have to tell y'all this today. Right now, I am wearing my first ever I Am a Boss Woman shirt. I contacted Nishonda because I was like, oh, I found someone that is doing bling, right? Because I'm all about the bling, okay? And so I was like, okay, Nishonda, let me call her. And look, you guys, she made my first ever I Am a Boss Woman shirt. Check it out. Yes. And so
that's a throwback. That's a throwback.
It's a throwback shirt. I have rebranded since then, but I always wear this shirt. My girls have this shirt, right? It is the first shirt that I ever had. So I want to tell you, thank you. Didn't she do an amazing job, y'all? Great work, right?
And I remember when we met at McDonald's downtown to pick that up. Where it started. I remember that. So a little bit about that then. So I am Nishonda Brown-Patterson. I have two children now. My youngest son is 20. My oldest son is 28. Did you get that?
Wow. You're kind of fading a little bit.
Okay. Howard University graduate, my oldest son, HBCU.
Woo!
And to be, wow, Anthony, graduated that day, and Taraji P. Henson got her honorary doctorate. So I love to say my son graduated with Taraji and Anthony. Hey, all in the same day.
Hey.
That's my family story. I started blinging shirts back in 2016. My mission at that time was strictly to help women entrepreneurs never to go outside without wearing their brand. So that was the mission. It turned into people. I want a baseball shirt for my son's baseball team. I want a basketball shirt. So it kind of morphed, but initially it was always to support women entrepreneurs. Mm. From there, I decided that the church needed help with their credit. So in 2017, I started doing credit repair. And since COVID, I've tried to pick up both brands and carry the torch. I've also started a yard card business, which you've probably seen on Facebook. Now that is hopping. And we kind of started that during COVID as well, just because people weren't celebrating the regular way. So it has continued. So I am a solopreneur with shirts and credit. And then I share the Yardy Party STL business with my brother and sister-in-law.
Oh my goodness. Man, so you have like 3 different businesses going on, girl.
And I have full-time jobs. So it gets a little crazy. Yeah, it gets crazy, but it works out. To God be the glory. So let me say
amen to that. So you guys give it up for Nishonda. She is a true definition of a boss woman. Okay. So Nishonda, tell us why you chose to start your own business. I want to know a little bit about the backstory, right? Because everybody have a story. Everybody have a reason why they decided to step into the entrepreneurial world. So give us a little bit of history of, why you decided to, start your own business.
From signing up for credit cards in the student union. Because back then you didn't need a job, you didn't need nothing. You was in college, they handed you, and you get a $25 gift card or whatever at that time for signing up for a credit card in the student union, not understanding about interest rates and all those things. Of course, all those credit cards came back to haunt me. I also had a child in college, so I was a young mother with a lot of debt. And that kind of carried me into my adult years, right? I'm still trying to reestablish myself and not understanding how credit worked and how the cycle of credit worked. So, or how debt worked altogether. So I started making shirts, right? Quote unquote, because I was going to make some extra money and I was going to be able to pay some stuff off. And I'm going to do this. And it didn't take off as big as it was in my head, but it was a seed that was planted. But from there, I just decided that people needed to know how the system worked, right? And we needed to know how to play the game of debt, credit, all of that. And so I call myself a credit and currency coach. Because all I do is teach people how to take what they already have and how to utilize that and invest that to better their credit profile, because that goes before anything else, right? Your credit you have to fill out an application for anything that you want to purchase. So that credit profile is important. And my community has become so accustomed to just getting by the game, if that's
Gotcha. So
that's how I got where I am. Yep.
Awesome. I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper because
let's go.
I like to do this because a lot of times we kind of, people hear where you start or where you are now, but what about when you were younger? Did you tap into like business and entrepreneur? Did you sell candy at school? I like to say little things like that, candy at school, or, what did you do when you were younger, that you have an aha moment and say, okay, I always had this in me. I always was business minded. Or was it when you went to college and then, they were doing the credit cards? Like, Tell us about it.
That's funny you say that, because that none of that was me. I wasn't an entrepreneur. My girlfriend recently reminded me, she was like, you were always reading in college. Well, I didn't think that, right? So I saw none of that until someone made a bling shirt, and I was like, hey, take me under your wing and teach me. That was 2016. So I think what that goes to show is that it's not how you start, right? It's not how you start, because I was always focused in school. I mean, I graduated summa cum laude from college, or magna cum laude, one of them, right? I did. That was big. Well, I mean, but I didn't use any of that to invest in myself.
Okay.
I didn't. I just consider myself a fairly intelligent person. And I say fairly intelligent because I had a cousin and a mother who had, and my niece tested gifted. So mine was average, you know. So none of that took for me until 2000, maybe 15. Someone was doing bling shirts.
Okay.
I was purchasing from her, asking her, hey, can you show me the business? She then showed it to me. And when it didn't take off the way I thought it was, then here I am again, just getting in debt because I'm buying shirts, I'm buying product. Nobody is biting, right? No one is purchasing it. And then there's technology. So I'm even having a hard time keeping up with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you know, all these things you got to be on top of to really sell yourself out there. As an entrepreneur until within the last, what is that, 7 to 8 years.
Okay.
I started, and my children, when you said that, I realized my oldest son was selling donuts and candy at my younger son basketball games. And my younger son never had a job. He tennis shoes and does
wow.
You wouldn't imagine how much he makes reselling tennis shoes. So it's funny that it wasn't in me, it's in them. But my journey started really in 2016 when you purchased a shirt. And not that you were the first, but you were one of the first customers. And so, and so I appreciate that. Yep, I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. I appreciate you as well. I like to ask women how they balance their life, their personal life, and their business life. Or is there a such thing as balance? What is your take on that? Because, you know, as women, especially if, you know, you have your children, you know, if you have a significant other, you're trying to make sure the house is together and clean, and you're cooking and all of that stuff, and trying to work a full-time job and run your business. How does Nishonda balance everything that she has going on?
She doesn't do a very good job. Let me be honest. I don't. Self-care has been put to the back. I don't do a very good job. Oddly and strangely enough, my youngest son graduated during COVID. So that was kind of, I needed the world to slow down. That's kind of when I got up in life. And I'm still older and out of the house. So I am learning now how to juggle within the last 2 years. Before, it was a little difficult, right? Because he played basketball in high school and he was extremely active. And my older son moved away. So it was a bit of a challenge. I am now figuring this thing called life out.
Okay.
So what I have committed though to myself is I work for my full-time job for a certain set amount of hours a day, right? And I have to invest that same or a portion of the evening in my own business, into my own paying clients. So I make sure to at least from 6 to 10, I'm doing credit repair. On Saturdays, we do yard signs and shirts. On Saturday mornings, early Saturday mornings, I rise and I do credit repair. I call it credit repair Saturdays. So that is how I've figured it out. The house probably gets clean on Sunday while I'm watching Lifetime, whatever. You know?
That's real talk.
Yeah, that's how I do it. So that is how I juggle it. I am a perfectionist by nature. I don't know. I always talk to the Lord about this because he created me this way. So I beat myself up a lot when it doesn't get done. But he makes a way where a majority of it gets closed out. So
yes, I certainly understand that. And just like you know, it is, or it has been, let me say that, it has been very hard to try to balance your family, your
Yeah.
household, working, your businesses. And so you just have to, make your schedule. Like you said, you're just now getting there. And I
Yeah.
was the same way, and it gets frustrating at times when you're trying to juggle everything at one time, but you're neglecting. It's like you feel like you're neglecting something. Something has to go by the wayside, you know. But I always just tell women, look, we have superpower,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we are boss women, and we know how to handle,
Things.
multiple
Yeah.
things. Multitasking, that's the word I'm looking for. We know how to multitask, right? And so I just want to say I'm proud of you,
Thank you.
for working a full-time job, you're juggling your family, your children, and running 3 businesses, y'all, so man, you are doing an excellent job. I
Thank
see
you.
you. You've been in
Thank you.
business for a while. So I'm proud,
Thank you.
to,
Thank
to
you.
have you on here as this boss woman that's just excelling and doing her thing. Okay.
But I wanted to admit that it's not always easy, because that is and as we delve into credit, that is part of the perception of social media, right? We only see the good stuff. um
Yes.
they see the finished product of a yard sign. They don't understand that underneath all that grass is rock. Like, people think it's easy. Or there is one particular influencer that I'm following on social media. She makes it look easy, and I went back in some photographs, and I'm like, every time she showed one purse, and I'm like, does she only have one design? Like, people just don't catch it. We only see the glamorization piece of
Mm-hmm.
this. And it's one of the things I teach in credit repair. It's not just so you can go out and get all these things and front and stunt on social media. Okay. That is not
Right.
what this is about, right? This is about a mindset change and a lifestyle change. Like, you got building your bank account. That's how you start, right? And
Mm-hmm.
everybody has fallen into some type of pitfall, right? But we got all this free money in 2020, free. you know, people still riding around with expired tags and things of that nature, So it's a mindset shift. And some
Yes.
days it doesn't go as planned. You got to start the next day and start the next day. So that is what I teach along with credit repair, because it isn't just repairing your credit, it's repairing your mind. It's a total shift.
Right. Oh man, I am so glad you touched on that, right? Because it is about your mindset,
It
right? You
is.
have to, you have. I read a lot. If you
Mhm.
notice,
I do.
on my social media, and I do that for a reason, because I feel like it is important that we continue to grow our mindset.
Yeah.
Right. That's the first thing we have to work on, is transforming and renewing your
Renewing
mind.
the
We have
mind.
to
That's right.
continuously grow. And so it's important that I, tell people or tell women, how important it is to make sure that you're working on your personal development. Because if
Yeah.
you're not working on your personal development and you're not growing, man, this, when the hard times come, you'll be out of business, right? So
Well, that's why I complimented your consistency, right? Because that too is it. People don't see the numbers, or they don't see the immediate transformation, and they give up and give in. And no, you got to do this thing every day, every day. When you don't feel like it, when you tired, when you burnt out, it's every day. Yeah.
every day, absolutely. So I am going to get ready to dive in
Let's
on
go. Let's
credit.
go.
I know everyone wants to talk about credit, how to restore your credit if your credit is not where it needs to be. So let's start talking about
Let's
credit, right?
go.
And the first question that I have
Sure.
that I want to start with is the apps, like the credit apps. I really want to know about which apps is the most accurate apps to use, because I have like two that I'm using, which is Credit Karma, and I've heard a lot of people talk about, it's not accurate. And then I also have, let me see, I wrote it down, Wallet Hub. That's
Okay.
another, so I kind of bounce between the two. I kind of give myself a little grace, because people like, oh, it's like 10, 20 points off. And I'm like, oh my God. So can you can you
Okay.
tell what's the most accurate apps or websites to go to get the most accurate reading of your credit?
So let's kind of take a step back and then I'll explain that. So really in this credit game, in this credit world, there's primarily, right, two versions of your credit score. So there's your FICO, and I teach people this way. FICO is like the Nike of credit scores, right? FICO is like Nike, and then there's Vantage, and Vantage is like the Adidas. And that's just the simplest way to put it, right? Okay. So FICO is anytime you're going to go into a bank, they're going to pull, if you're looking to be extended credit, you're going to pull your FICO score.
Right.
Your Vantage score is what's on Credit Karma. So that's why people keep saying it's not your real score. Let me dispel some rumors. Credit Karma is a marketing website. They get paid to push that information that says, hey, Leandra, you match Excess Bank, your odds of approval are 89%. Apply for this score. They get paid for that.
Okay.
So while the score there are great advantages of Credit Karma. And I tell people this all the time. They will tell you the exact date that your last credit card payment or that your payments reported. So people utilize the information. You don't have to use. I heard TDJ say, eat the meat and throw away the bones. Don't worry about the score. Get the details from Credit Karma. Okay.
Gotcha.
I always refer people to the My FICO app, MyFICO, and they provide various versions of your FICO score. Now, here's the confusing part. There's so many versions of your FICO score, like there's so many versions of Nike. And what people don't realize is so FICO 8 is the most widely used version of FICO right now, right? So if you went to your bank to apply for it, they'll probably pull your FICO 8. That My FICO app provides several different versions. Your mortgage score is an older version. So if you were going to look for a house, they would pull an older version of FICO. But that My FICO app will supply you with those scores. So,
okay,
there is no right or wrong answer. I would not judge where if the viewers are looking for a car, don't go off of your Credit Karma score. But there are details within Credit Karma that are very valuable. They'll tell you your utilization percentage, meaning where all of your credit card balances are compared to the limits. So the details in Credit Karma are essential and vital. The score you can kind of disregard.
Okay.
So that's it, right?
All right.
Valuable. But I utilize the My FICO app. And Wallet Hub uses a version of Vantage, and I can get into that just a little bit.
Okay.
So you have the FICO scores, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Vantage. Well, Vantage was actually created by Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax to compete with FICO. So the three major credit bureaus got together and they're like, hey, we're going to create our own FICO scores to compete with the FICO. But no one is real. I know, right? It's a game. So you have your Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax FICO score. Then the three of those same companies got together, created Vantage score, which is used by Credit Karma. And then you'll have banks or all these other places that will say, hey, you got a credit card with us? We'll give you a version of your credit score too. So the term credit score is used loosely because there's so many versions, there's so many flavors and varieties, like Baskin Robbins.
Oh my God. Is anybody else like, oh my God, this is too much?
I didn't want to confuse. Hopefully that was easily to understand. You want to focus on your FICO score. So read that fine print up underneath when you're looking at those apps to see which score they're providing you. And most will say Vantage 3.0. And remember, your Vantage 3.0 is equivalent to what Credit Karma is showing you.
Got it. Okay. So basically, I need to download the My FICO app and make
Yep.
sure I have that one because that right now is one of the most accurate.
That is from FICO. That is FICO. And it is costly, right? It is about $40 a month, but it's going to show you everything and you will be prepared. And the other thing I want to tell anyone listening is that when you are about to go and apply for credit, ask them which version they're pulling. If you got your My FICO app, you know, because I think our community sees that as, oh, if I ask them, they're going to think that I'm not prepared or that my score is right. We see it as a negative connotation versus us being prepared and empowered with the information that, hey, I need to know if this hit going to be on TransUnion, Experian, or Equifax. You know, if we are empowered and educated when we ask that question. And I can tell you from experience, most times the teller that you're talking to, they're not going to know. Ask them to ask underwriting. Be empowered about the information that you have available at your fingertips.
So ask which version they are pulling when they're pulling our credit score, and they should be able to tell us.
And if they don't, to underwriting, ask them to ask the underwriting department, right? So that you know, and so that you, right, because again, it's not an even playing field. Information that might be on your Experian credit report might not be on the other credit reports. So your score won't always be 720 across the board. It could be. That would be coincidence.
Wow. So recently I noticed, and maybe you can kind of shed a little light on this, when they raised the credit score. So I believe it is it 850 now? Or am I wrong?
It's always been the I'm allow you to finish your question, and I think we're freezing here, but go ahead and finish.
We're freezing. No, I was just asking, is it 850 now? Or I used to think that the highest was 800. And then, then the rumors were like, oh no, it's now 850. So can you shed a little light on what is the highest score that you can have? And then when did it change, if it changed, or has it always been that?
So it hasn't changed. 850 is the highest FICO score. So again, and I think I have up a slide maybe where we can. It's always been 850. So it didn't change. And again, when you download the app, you'll be able to see some of that. It'll explain the breakdown in between a good and a fair credit score. So it's always been 850.
It's always been 850. Okay.
Always. Yep.
So when you are, since you restore credit, and I know without going into, details, just on the surface or however much you can give,
sure.
What are some of the steps that you are taking to prepare someone to start restoring their credit?
So what I do is I assist pretty much busy individuals. Anybody can do the work that I'm doing. I'm just doing the work for them. Some people don't know where to start or what to say. So what I'm doing is reviewing your credit profile, identifying anything that's negative or erroneous, because a lot of people are like, hey, I paid that bill before they sent it to a collection agency, right? And so I am assisting them with getting those negative items, anything negatively impacting their credit score, either removed or updated to reflect accurately. Some people do have proof. Hey, I paid them. Here's my receipt, but I haven't had time. My life is so busy. Kids have practice. So I am assisting people with getting updates or negative information removed from their credit reports.
Okay.
I do that by factual disputing, which means there are some credit repair companies that will be like, tell them this isn't yours. Tell them that, someone stole your identity. I'm not doing that. I work with integrity. So we are going to go through your credit report in detail. We're going to do a complete analysis. I'm going to give you an opportunity to explain to me why something should or shouldn't be on your credit report. Because a lot of times, just, admittedly, yes, that's on there. That is a doctor bill that I didn't pay. So what I have to do is be creative in identifying a way in which we can get that removed.
Awesome. Okay. So you so you can remove the negative credit. So it really doesn't matter what your credit score is. So say for instance, a person has a credit score of 650, 700, would you recommend going in even at a score, like that to help, build their credit even higher?
I do have someone that found me on Instagram with a 700 credit score, but she wants a higher. And so there are a few things that we can work on. But I tell people too, there are some negative items on her credit report. I'm showing her how to increase her score, right? So she may want a consultation every month. Sometimes it's not really what's in your credit profile, right? And here's the secret sauce. This is the secret sauce.
Yes, everybody tuned in. Y'all ready? Y'all ready?
Here's the secret sauce. And I don't know why anybody won't tell you this. The more revolving debt you have, this is the game. The more revolving debt you have, which is your credit card, the more of that you have and you keep at a low balance, the higher your credit score will be. That's it. That's the game.
What? That's the game.
So they're really rewarding you for being in debt, unless, right? That's the game. Unless you've had those credit cards over a long period of time. But people who are looking like, hey, I need to get this up. I got 6 months. If you get approved for a lot of credit cards, just get them and tuck them away. And honey, you will see.
Really?
So right. But that's what keeps the economy going, right?
That's true.
That's what happened during the pandemic. We stopped buying. Everything was lower. Well, what's happening now? They're raising because they got to get you buying again. They got to get the dollar circulating. So that's just how it works. Revolving debt, because people will go to a car lot and they'll be like, oh, my score was low, so I went and got a car. Okay, so here's another piece of advice. That's called installment debt, right? You're purchasing a car or a home installment because you pay in installments. Mm-hmm. Those pay off, the time frame associated with it is a longer period of time. So it's going to take longer to increase your credit score, right? Revolving debt, like your credit card, it's called revolving because the balance changes every month. It could be $0, then it could be $15, and it could be $300, then it could be $0 again. That is a riskier debt type. And that's why that is what generates a score either higher or lower in a quicker amount of time. That's the secret sauce. You guys got to hear.
The secret sauce, y'all. I see somebody commented, and I can't, excuse me or forgive me, user, but it says, but something below 30%.
That is absolutely correct.
Okay.
That is the message. So below 30% is practical, right? The biggest bang for your buck is under 8%, 1 to 7%. But a lot of us can't do that. So if you can get it under 30, you're absolutely correct. Facebook user, you will see the bang.
So do you suggest, if you have credit cards, to pay your minimum balance, pay a little bit more than the balance, or pay the full amount? What is, can you go a little bit into too much?
No, not at all. Not at all, because that is public information. Pay them off. Why pay interest? Because you want to pay it down to keep it under 30%, right? That to me is crazy. You're going to pay interest because you want to keep your balance below 7%. Pay it off, tuck it away, use it occasionally, right? So you're running to get some gas. Well, now gas is $100, but I would have said that before. Run and put $20 in your tank, but that's like not even a fourth. But anyway, you want to just do that so that the credit card company doesn't close the account, right? Doesn't close the card. But don't pay interest on it. Even if you charge that $100 worth of gas and you really do have $100 in your bank account, then pay it off immediately when you get home or as soon. Don't let it report on your credit report. That's the game, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Use Credit Karma for. So we'll take your example. I have $100 balance on a credit card, right? Okay. Pay that off. I'll use a little bit here and there so that the credit card company doesn't close it, but I never let it report to my credit report. I never let the credit card company report that I have a balance because that's what's going to take your score down, right? So okay. Here was my recommendation. As soon as if you have $100 cash and you could have used it, and oh man, I haven't used this credit card in a couple months, go ahead and charge the gas and then immediately pay it off. You can use your Credit Karma details to see when X credit card company reports so that you know to pay it before the end.
Gotcha.
Right? So that's why I said those details in Credit Karma, don't disregard because they show every month. Oh, on the 12th of the month, this credit card company reported. So you'll want to pay the balance by the 10th or whatever, by your due date, right? Because after your due date, you might be charged a fee, but you'll really want to make sure it's paid before it reports. Okay. So that's what a lot of people do.
So thank you for that answer. Are you saying that it hurts your credit if you close your credit card?
It does. It does. And do you recommend debt consolidation? Okay, I'll get to that question. Yes, it does hurt because you lose points in the length of your credit history. So just say you have 3 consecutive years of when you opened credit cards, right? Year 1, year 2, year 3, and you close year 1 because you got these new cards, or the length of the credit history will re-age, and the point value is based on what your score is. So I can't say it'll be 10 points. I can't say it'll be 20 points. I can't say it'll be 5, right? It's like I tell people, it's like the Popeye's chicken sandwich. They don't give you the exact recipe, right? You can go home and try and make it and Google it. You're not going to get the exact recipe, right? But they'll give you some of the ingredients. So you will lose points. I can't tell you how many. So a lot of people just took, and then a lot of people, when the pandemic happened, right, those credit card companies closed. I had a girlfriend, her New York and Co. She was sick. Oh my God, they closed New York and Co. because the stores closed, right? You can only make purchases online. So she did lose point value. So there'll be instances where they'll close them for you. So that's why you want to give a little activity on cards, but you don't have to do that every month.
Okay.
And don't be careful when you're following these influencers for information, right? Be careful because, again, we talked about under 30%. If you can pay it off and use it every now and again. You don't have to do it every month. You just want to show the credit card companies that you can manage the credit. And if it's 0%, if it's at 0, don't close it.
Gotcha.
Unless you have to, right? I don't know what the instance may be, but you may be purchasing a home and they may not want you to have that debt available.
Right. So I know for myself and Facebook, about the debt consolidation, we're going to get to your question. I have one other question for Nishonda, in reference to, for myself, my mailbox has been loaded in my emails with credit card approval. Like, it is out of control. I'm like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. So I have been wondering or I've been kind of like hesitant in order for me to increase my score, if I should go ahead and say, all right, let me go ahead and, take one of these credit card offers to help increase my score. But then the other part of me is like, I don't know, I'm just going to keep paying what I have and get those balances down. So what is your suggestion when it comes to that? Which way should I go?
Every scenario is different. I'm going to say it's going to be based off of what it is you're trying to do.
Okay.
My recommendation during this period in the economy is that you don't acquire any more debt, right?
Yes.
That is just what we need to do. We need to be paying down and paying off. That is my personal, right? Because I know you personally. So that is my personal. My professional opinion is if you want a house, then you go get you some more credit cards and then you know what I'm saying? So I know you have a home, a beautiful home at that. So I believe that your goal should be to pay down or pay off, right?
Okay.
Let's talk about those credit card offers because I've tried to write down everything that you said as you were saying it. Everybody is monitoring you. Big Brother is alive. Even they're still considered credit reporting agencies, but even when you get a prescription filled, that's how they already know. Or even from claims on your home, right? Home insurance, all of that. You're constantly being monitored. So they are pulling a soft inquiry and say, hey, Leandra got a 720. She'll be good for us to extend her credit. So that's where all of that comes from, right? Has anybody ever been to court and then all of a sudden you get all this mail about, oh, these attorneys can help you? You're always being monitored. You're always on some list. Those are where those approvals are coming from.
Okay.
The goal, your goal, whatever your goal is, determines whether you should accept those offers or not.
Okay.
Know that right now consumers are being thrust and pushed. There's credit scoring all around us. They like, you want to increase your score, Experian Boost. Let me tell you something. You're never going to walk in there and somebody going to ask you for your Experian Boost score. That's never going to happen. Okay. So don't fall for it. It is just part of this messaging to all of us that you need to be concerned about your credit score and you need to get it up by any means necessary. You will never be asked. No one will ever pull your Experian Boost credit score. So I wanted to note that because, like you said, there's this messaging going out, and here's so it all depends on what your goal is, what you should do regarding your credit score. And I do free consultations if anybody just wants to like get with me. And that will be general information, right? That means I haven't looked at your score and people will be like, but what if I got this and this? You really don't know until you pull your credit report and see. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you. So you guys hear that? Nishonda does a free consultation.
Yeah.
So I most definitely would advise anyone to take her up on her free offer if you have some general questions. Okay. So let's get into I don't know who asked this question, and forgive me because I can't see your name. But do you recommend debt consolidation?
So Facebook user, do you mind sharing what is the goal, right? What are you doing debt consolidation for? So let me give you an example. You've got your credit card debt equals $5,000 and you are struggling paying each individual card due to interest rate, right? So if the issue is that you are struggling to pay, yes, I do recommend debt consolidation, right? I do. And I am a product of debt consolidation, and making one payment versus making multiple payments does work. So yes.
And when is a time that you say that again, when you don't actually?
So just say you got 5 different credit cards. You might have a 23% interest rate, 18% interest rate, a 40% interest rate. And I'm just talking off the top of my head, right? But you're making all these various payments, right? Trying to keep up $200, $300, $600, whatever they are. A debt consolidation will take all of that revolving debt, and I'm just going to assume she's talking revolving, meaning credit card, put it into an installment loan with the bank, and now you're making one payment to one company, which is a lot less than the 5 different payments you were making, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I do recommend it. I do recommend it. The other thing that happens in that same scenario, if it is revolving debt to installment debt, right? If it is your credit cards to a bank loan, you now have all of this available credit on your credit cards. So with this credit gain, nothing is a yes or no. So when she's asked that question, okay, when you consolidate though, are they making you close those 5 credit card accounts? Because we've already talked about what happens when you close those. When you close those, now your credit score drops, right? Because now those cards are closed. You don't have that revolving debt, score plummets. Remember, the secret sauce was your revolving debt. That's how you get it up or down. So again, it always depends on what your end goal is.
Okay, I think you kind of answered this, but the question is, does the debt consolidation make your credit score go down?
Again, depending on some, so let's just say you're taking the credit card debt and putting it in an installment loan. The bank may say, okay, we'll help you, we'll consolidate, but you got to close those credit cards. There are banks that won't make you close it. So I tell people, if your end goal is to increase your credit score, then get the debt consolidation loan, but keep those credit cards accounts open. But the bank may not do that. They may or may not. Just make sure you ask. Feel empowered.
Feel empowered. I love that. I love that you said make sure that you take your power back or be empowered, right? Because I've never had thought to ask a lender, or if I'm going, to apply for a vehicle or whatever it is, to say, hey, what version of my score are you pulling? Like, man, that's like, I'm gonna highlight that right there, because that right there, that is a nugget in itself, y'all. What version are you pulling? So if you are taking control of your credit report, you know what you're looking at, you're feeling empowered, you're looking at your FICO app. Y'all, I got so many notes written down. You're looking at your FICO app, right? And you are understanding, you're able to understand what they're pulling, right? Man, I'm gonna feel like I'm boss for real. Like,
that's
hey, like, oh, who she know what she's talking about.
and I'm telling you, I used my FICO app and went into the bank, and I forgot what I was trying to do. I had just made like a $500 payment on a credit card. When they pulled my score, it matched exactly what my FICO app said. Like, I knew what version they pulled. It matched perfectly. I went the same day. She pulled the same score, and I think I got an increase in the credit card. And that's another thing, right? Sometimes you're out here, you're trying to get additional credit. If your score is where it needs to be, call and ask for an increase. And another nugget is, you are not married to these banks. I had a client that I was working with. We knew what her score was. They rejected her, or I think they reduced her credit card balance. I was like, you're not married to them. Go to this credit union. She went to X credit union, got everything she wanted. She was like, it's going to be a hassle. Take the time and move everything over. They are not married to you. Do you think that they're going to, Leandra, let me ask if we should merge with this other credit union. No, ma'am. Right. No, ma'am, they're not. You're not married to these banks or credit unions. And I advocate for credit unions too, is another thing, because they present your information to underwriting. Big banks, they submit your information to underwriting, right? They have no relationship. So
y'all getting these nuggets that Nishonda putting down. Man, she giving us some gems. And so, speaking of you saying you're not married to the banks, when it comes to transferring balances, like if you want to transfer a balance to a different, bank or whatever. So I'm assuming that doesn't hurt your credit either, or
not with the banks. No, not at all. It doesn't hurt with a credit card either, right? Okay. It's just a transference of information. No.
Love it, love it, love it.
If the interest rate is lower and the benefits, get your bags and get the packing. Don't be afraid. Or people are like, oh, my direct deposit, or but our car comes out automatically. You have to do the work. It's just like credit repair. There is work to be done, and you have to commit to doing it. Build your bank account, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I
I
said, they're not going to ask your permission to transition. So you're going to ask theirs.
Right. I love it. I love it. We have a credit union that we've been with like forever, which is in South Carolina when we lived there.
Okay.
And when I tell you I love that credit union, and so everywhere else that we've moved, I've just continued to keep them because let me tell you, anytime that we call them and we need something, like immediately I get a response. They are willing to help. So I love that you mentioned credit unions because we will,
Yeah.
sometimes it's an inconvenience. Now it's a little bit easier. Like if you need to
Right. Technology.
deposit money and stuff like that with technology.
Yeah.
But if you have a check, maybe sometimes those little things can be a hiccup. But for the most part, I told my husband, I'm like, we just got to keep them,
Yeah.
because
I support that. I was working with a client, and they were going to a big name bank, right? This big name bank, and they were like, they declined us. I was like, okay, try the credit union. And they went and they got the loan that they needed. And I was like, but tell me why you were going to this bank anyway. Is it the name? Is it, like what was it about them that even attracted you? Oh, but we've had an account there. Don't be afraid. Don't be empowered. Once you get on this journey, and them dinging you. Went to see a famous evangelist. She wouldn't even go on stage. She was like, wait a minute, my credit score just went up. Like before she literally went on stage. Be empowered. This is you. This goes before you. This follows you. And another thing I want people to know is your credit score is not a permanent part of your file. So, Leandra, you're not walking around with this 740 that was just pulled. They pulled it and it immediately goes away. People don't know that. People think that you are a 740 all the time. That is an auxiliary product. Your credit score is just an addition to your credit profile and is only utilized when necessary and goes away immediately after they pulled it.
Wow, wow, wow. I love that someone said, I love my credit union. Also, they have always helped me in the time of need. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. If you are not a part of a credit union, I am telling you, go find your local credit union, walk in, get familiar with the people, they can get familiar with your face. And most of the times, I have not had a bad experience with our credit union. We're with the credit union now where we are, but I always go back to my original credit union, depending on what needs I have. So,
and there's nothing wrong with the bank either. I'm just telling you to not be married to either one. If you're not getting what you need from a credit union, then switch. You're looking for someone that is going to benefit you in your situation, right? And whatever that means. I actually bank with literally on deposit day, it goes to 6 different places. Now, 2 of them are my children, to make sure. But I'm saying that to say some are banks, some are credit unions. So just don't be afraid. Do what benefits you. Remember, you're not married to either or. So.
And have options. You want to be able to have options, right? If one doesn't work out, I'm going over here to the other one and see what they can do. It's kind of like I don't want to say bidding, but almost,
right.
Like who's going to give me the best interest rate? What can you do for me? And that's what it's about, So you guys figure it out. And if you don't do what I need you to do, then I have an option. I have several options,
That's right.
So, man, this has been amazing. If you guys found value in this live video, if Nishonda has given you some answers to your questions, I want you to give some hearts, give some likes, right? Show her some love because she has done absolutely amazing. Nishonda, tell the people, where they can find you on your social media platforms and whatever else you have going on in your business.
Awesome. So I am for credit. I am Restore Your Credit Score on both Instagram and Twitter, which I haven't updated Twitter in a while, so don't go there. Instagram and Facebook. Restore Your Credit Score. And the website is rycs.org. So that's rycs.org. And I have some digital products that you guys can purchase. Everything is under $20, I think, but a couple of products. And that will help you to understand inflation, help you understand how you can fix your credit. It isn't too detailed, right? But it kind of gives you a start. And I'll be uploading some other products there. So that is rycs.org. And you can go to digital products, or you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Restore Your Credit Score. If you are in need of a shirt, that is Bling It On. Thank you. Thank you. And it's bling_it_on Instagram, and then Bling It On with the appropriate spacing on Facebook. And I'll be launching some Juneteenth bling here next week. So yeah, that's what's going on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you heard it here first. You have received some valuable information
I
from
sure
the
hope you have.
Make
I
sure,
sure hope you have.
yes, make sure that you go and you follow her. Make sure that you support her, right? Get you a Juneteenth shirt, get you a Bling It On shirt, right?
Yeah, that we're supposed to market ourselves. And my favorite thing is, like, you guys go be great. Seriously. Like, they are buying, this is my favorite, they're buying cakes off Facebook from people they don't even know. So what talent or gift that you are sitting on that you can be making extra money to pay off this debt, to invest in yourself, because people are literally buying cakes from people they don't know off Facebook.
Wow. Wow. I don't even, okay.
Well, but you know, it's real. I just watched a post, someone I know, and they are a lovely cook, a lovely, absolutely phenomenal. But because someone shared the post, someone was like, how do I order? Not even knowing. So we are sitting on gifts and talents that we need to give back, right?
Yeah.
Our community needs, and that can help us get out of some of this debt.
Wow. Yes. So, it is important that you activate your gifts, right? And don't be
Yes.
scared, to activate your gift. I am one of those type of people, especially I was just telling Nishonda before we actually went live that I'm in a couple of businesses myself. Health and wellness is one of them. And I kind of put my I'm a boss woman brand on the back burner for a long time, right? And so I have been rebranding myself. I get on live. I do a lot of variety of different things. And there is times when I feel like, oh my God, where's the people? Where are they? But I just want to encourage somebody today. It
Yes.
doesn't matter, right? Continue to be consistent. Continue to operate in your gift, right? And eventually it's gonna the things that you're wanting is gonna show up, but you gotta be consistent and you got to move and you gotta take action, right? If you're sitting still and you're wondering today, man, there is something that I want to do, I have a gift, I have a talent, go ahead and do it, right? Time is ticking away. Time is ticking away, but take action on it. And don't worry about the naysayers. Don't worry about, how many likes or hearts that you have on something. People are always watching you. Trust me.
Always. It's so funny you say that, because I was not going live on Instagram, and I started because I was going to do just a webinar on credit repair. And a lady instantly paid me overnight. I don't have a lot of followers on Instagram, but she was like, I can tell from talking to you. So you are absolutely correct. This is somebody, and I thought definitely Facebook, because Instagram, I forget I have an Instagram account half the time. So it is about just doing what you're called to do, right?
Yes.
And again, Leandra, props to you, because usually I'll jump on in the morning and jump right off because I should be on a prayer call, but you are consistent every morning, right? And you are absolutely correct. It doesn't matter. Someone is always watching. Even if I'm on for 2 seconds, so I try and do a wave or hi and jump off, someone
Yeah.
is always watching. That was a great piece of information. Thank you.
Oh no,
Now
thank
I'll get
you.
up and get on Instagram. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, that's all right. You'll get there, right? It is a lot, right? All these social media platforms and trying to make sure that you keep up with everything.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's a lot, but you can get a content calendar. Let me show you guys something real quick before Nishonda
Yes.
gets off of something that I created. I don't know if Android has this. I'm sure you do with like a note section on
Yes.
your phone, but just a tip. I created in my notes like Mondays. I have every day of the week, right? And so every day of the week, I have, okay, what am I supposed to do on Monday? What am I supposed to do on Tuesday, right? And so when I get up every day, I can click on that day because my memory sometimes is just like, oh my God, I'm all over the place, right? I know that about myself, right? So it's just kind of a little thing to help keep me on task, help keep me on schedule so I can click on it. I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing that day. Like for this, it's just like I have a list of
Oh
things, right?
wow. Okay.
And then it, even from posting on social
Right.
media, even from me working out. So when I get up in the morning, if I have a live to do, if I work out, I have that written down right on my schedule. So I don't forget, and so that I can remind myself of what I need to do. Okay, so just a little tip for you guys today. Nishonda gave us a tip. I am so excited about downloading this My FICO app. Um,
Yes.
I'm so excited about that. So download the FICO app if you guys have not downloaded it. And remember, reach out to her if you have any other questions, get your free consultation. I just want to say, Nishonda, thank you so much for allowing me to interview today, being the boss woman that you are, making
Thank
my first ever Bling It On I'm a Boss Woman shirt,
you.
right? I really, really appreciate this interview and all the valuable information
Thank
that
you.
you provided us today, right? Because I've learned a lot and I am going to take my notes and put it into action. Okay.
And
So,
also, I'll be doing a women's summit coming up where we'll do 3 days of overall. And I'll talk to you about that offline, just being a participant in that. But we're going to do a women's summit on what is called the Black Virtual Convention Center. It is the first Black virtual convention center. We've teamed up with some people. So we're working through the logistics of that. So I'll keep you involved in that and your community so that they can be a part of that. I think that is going to be excellent. So wanted to throw that out there. The dates are to be determined, but that is upcoming. Yeah, it's just time for us to take our power back. So
yes, she just keep giving us nuggets. Keep showing up. Y'all hear that? Oh my God, I'm so excited for that too. So keep me posted.
I
So let me
will.
see someone that says, "Thank you, Nishonda. I will be contacting you for credit products, counseling, and bling shirts." Yes,
Thank
that's
you. Thank you.
we want support,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Somebody
yes.
else said this was awesome. Somebody else gave the hands up sign. So yes, yes, yes. So I will not hold you any longer. But those of you ladies who would like to be interviewed, you want to share your story, you want to talk about your business, right? Make sure that you go to IamABossWoman.com. IamABossWoman.com. There's a couple of options right now. I am doing a lot of free interviews, to be honest, because I'm trying to make sure that I grow the community so that we can learn to collaborate and connect more with each other. But as we continue to grow, to be honest, we get up there in the thousands and 2000s, there is also a selection where you can select a fee as well. But we're not there yet. So if you are a person you want to be interviewed, just go to the the website at iamabosswoman.com. You can select the free or whichever option. The free option, we just go live in the group here. If you select the paid option, we go live on 3 different platforms. So that is another way to get more exposure. And normally we wouldn't go this long, but again, the information was so great, we had to keep going, right? So reach out to me, schedule your appointments, and let's go, ladies, right? It's our turn, it's our season, it's time to win and quit sitting on your gifts. Let's get it.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's
So
get it.
thank
All right.
you for coming on here, and we will see each and every one of you later. Until next time.
Everyone
Bye.
have a good night. Bye-bye.
Good evening.